The things I've come to learn about how the system works and doesn't work are both disgusting and shocking.
Paul Castro never asked to be part of the debate over felony bond in Harris County. The decision was made for him when his 17-year-old son David was murdered after an Astros game in July.
What did you think would happen in terms of bond?
The hope was the system would keep him locked up.
Judges are often criticized for setting any kind of bond or setting a bond that the public considers too low. But what we wanted to know, what is the prosecutor's role in this process? More specifically, what impact can the prosecutor have on the setting of bond?
KPRC2 Investigates dug into the court records of all murder and capital murder cases where bond was set this year. That's 257 cases. In at least 10% of these cases, prosecutors did not appear to fight the bond set by the judge. We found judges leaving notes like prosecution didn't ask for a higher bond, state never asked to raise bond, or state didn't move forward with bail motion. Then there's the case of 34-year-old Gerald Wayne Williams, who was charged with David Castro's murder.
When I heard that his accused murderer was granted bond, it was, first it was enraging.
A magistrate initially set Williams' bond at $350,000. Prosecutors asked to deny bond, but court records show prosecutors abandoned their motion, instead asking for a $500,000 bond. Judge Mark Brown wrote without a hearing or evidence to support their request, he had no discretion to deny bail and no legal justification to change the original amount.
He's wrong. He had legal recourse.
We asked to speak with District Attorney Kim Ogg. Instead, Prosecutor Joanne Musick, who did not handle Williams' case, answered our questions.
If he believes the bond to be insufficient, he himself may sua sponte on his own raise that bond to a higher level.
Why would you ask for bail and not present any evidence to support what you're requesting?
And I can't speak to the particulars in that case. I can tell you that Judge Mark Brown, as any judge, has a right to determine for himself, him or herself, regardless of any evidence presented, if bail is sufficient or not.
But isn't that a cop-out? You go, oh, well, it's just the judge. Our hands are tied at this point.
I'm not saying our hands are tied. I'm saying we took a strategic position to not present evidence at that moment.
How much impact can a prosecutor have on seeing a higher bond instituted?
Considerable. To have a higher bond instituted really is coming all from the prosecutor.
Catherine Evans has been a prosecutor and a judge. She's now a defense attorney. She says while ultimately judges decide bond, many look to the prosecution and defense to provide information that will help form that decision.
Bonds cannot be used as an instrument of oppression. What that means in a given situation, though, is very much open for interpretation.
And former Judge George Powell, who is now a defense attorney, adds most bonds are set by magistrates after a person is arrested.
You're charged in the 248th District Court with the first-degree felony offense of murder, sir.
Once that case gets to the trial court, if the prosecution doesn't ask for a hearing to change or deny bond...
In that event, the judge is going to leave it alone, typically, and there may be people upset because the judge didn't make a decision in that case.
When do you fight for these things?
When we feel it is so far removed from sufficient, then we will add the extra resources and time to continue fighting.
And it's answers like that that leave family members like Paul Castro feeling confused and angry about how bail is set in Harris County.
I don't feel like I have enough information anymore to have anything other than a mild opinion. What I do know is, my son is dead and the person accused of killing him is on the street.
So what is a high or low bond? The term is debatable and subjective. The DA's office has no written policy on bail other than each case is viewed individually based on the evidence. The DA's office also says it has to balance its backlog with dedicating prosecutors to fighting bail issues. You'll find this story plus more of our reporting on bail-related issues right now on click2houston.com. Robert Arnold, KPRC2 Investigates.